342-7303.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Broadcasting from Trinidad to the world. The Street 919FM.com.
News from the Street 919FM.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. I am Vanessa Thomas with the 12 o'clock news on the Street 919 FM and online Facebook and YouTube. In the headlines, the Prime Minister assures that more will be done to fight crime in TNT. Help is on the way from the U.S. to help TNT fight crime. Tutor concerned as more teachers are out on quarantine, leaving children unsupervised. And internationally, the U.S. braces for more supply chain disruptions as China gets more aggressive with its lockdowns. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is assuring the population that his government will do all that it can to deal with the crime situation in TNT. He made the assurance at yesterday's post-cabinet media conference. Dr. Rowley described TNT's current crime situation as horrendous and stated that although there are interventions in place to deal with violent crimes, he admitted that more needs to be done.
I can't recall a period of time, a matter of weeks, seeing the viciousness of crime, frequency of crime in and among family members out on the street. I mean, it is just a while ago I made a comment that we are a violent society, and apparently there are some people who are attempting to prove that statement true.
The Prime Minister gave a stern warning to criminals. He promised that these elements will be dealt with.
If you know your family members have illegal guns, you're not getting a pass from me. If you know your friends on the block that you spend the day with, not looking for a job but planning the next crime, you're not getting a pass. If you know an elderly person getting a pension and living their days quietly and comfortably in a house, and you know who broke in that house and killed that old woman, you're not getting a pass. So, at my book, nobody gets a pass in this country.
In other news, Trinidad and Tobago is getting help from the United States to help fight crime. Yesterday, it was announced that a special unit of the United States Department of Homeland Security has agreed to assist local law enforcement in the fight against crime. The U.S. Embassy's highest-ranking diplomat, Shanti Moore, has this to say.
The United States government, through the Department of State's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, or INL as its acronym, has committed $1.5 million to implement this important project, which will be delivered here over the next 18 months from May until November 2023, as Mr. Obando mentioned.
Moore said the program is an important one, and the United States government is working very closely with the government of TNT on security and law enforcement.
It is the bedrock of our bilateral relationship, and over the past 2 years, we have worked diligently to strengthen that relationship, which is why we worked with the government of Trinidad and Tobago to bring ATF here, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, because of the importance of weapons trafficking, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but also throughout the Caribbean and the region.
He also revealed that another U.S. federal law enforcement agency will be assisting local enforcement in the fight against crime.
We have brought the Department of Homeland Security's Homeland Security Investigations Agency to work with Trinidad and Tobago in the areas of arms trafficking, trafficking in persons, and other areas of mutual interest. We're hoping very soon to open our USAID satellite office or branch office because, again, there are programs and projects that USAID will also contribute to this effort. In addition, we have our FBI legal attaché here in Trinidad and Tobago that's working closely with the police.
In more news, the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association remains concerned about the health safety of students while at school, as more and more teachers and supervisors are out on quarantine due to the COVID virus. First, Vice President of the association, Marlon Seals, says while he cannot say for sure how many teachers are out on quarantine, he understands that students are left unsupervised at schools. Seals is concerned, as he says, principals are not given the opportunity to dismiss classes early.
The principal, the manager, is placed in a situation where they are responsible for the health and safety of the students, but not given the opportunity to make decisions that will allow and ensure the safety of the students.
Chairman of the Presbyterian School Board said as of Friday they have a total of 110 teachers and principals out on quarantine, and only 5 substitutes through the Education Ministry have been provided. The Senator Ndama Mahasaba says they have 27 teachers out on quarantine due to COVID. However, classes have not been disrupted as they have received 11 substitute teachers from the Education Ministry. International news now. Lockdowns in China continue to cause disruptions throughout the global economy while putting a strain on U.S. supply chains. We have this Al Jazeera report telling us more on this story.
China's aggressive pandemic lockdowns haven't just imprisoned many residents of the world's most populous country in their homes, they've also dramatically slowed commerce across the global supply chain.
We haven't really seen the true impacts of that disruption yet. And so I think it's one of the best bellwethers right now for what's going on and where we're headed globally in terms of a potential economic recession.
Although China's ports are still working, only about 20% of the trucking capacity in the economic powerhouse of Shanghai is operating. That's meant raw materials and components for finished products are not getting to the ports for export to the U.S. and elsewhere.
The entire supply chain has been constrained and limited, so there's limited movement at every stage of the supply chain, which is relatively unprecedented to have kind of this full stop of movement.
And now for a quick look at the weather. Trinidad and Tobago will be generally sunny, hazy and breezy with a few showers, especially over Tobago. Tonight will be partly cloudy with showers over a few areas. Please note that Saharan dust is present in the area and sensitive individuals are advised to take the necessary precautions. Seas moderate, waves 1.5 to 2 meters in open waters, below 1 meter in sheltered areas. Forecast maximum temperature 32 degrees in both Trinidad and Tobago. Current temperature is 27 degrees. And that was the 12 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM and online Facebook and YouTube. Recapping the headlines, the Prime Minister assures that more will be done to fight crime in TNT. Help is on the way from the U.S. to help TNT fight crime. Tutor concerned as more teachers are out on quarantine, leaving children unsupervised. And internationally, the U.S. braces for more supply chain disruptions as China gets more aggressive with its lockdowns. Do enjoy your afternoon and continue to be safe. I am Vanessa Thomas.
News from the street. 919fm.com.
Along with more than 1 or 2 votes, we need the kind of change that's affordable to the rich man or the man that's too broke